Welcome to episode 156 from the Shed End with myself, Theo and Dharmesh. How you both doing?
Yes, bro.
Good,
Big
yeah.
up, doing well, man. How are you?
Tired.
Yeah.
Just to put it in a nutshell, I'm tired, but we're here.
I'm actually happy it's the international break, man. No more watching Chelsea for another 16 days. So can't complain with that, man.
And to be fair, Tottenham after the international break is not going to be easy at all.
Nah, not at all. Nah. But it's just nice to obviously have like all of us on the channel as well, which is sick.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for what we got lined up, man.
Yeah, this one's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a special one. Before we get into the episode, as always, please make sure you subscribe. As I said before, and I always say on these videos, the numbers are creeping up. I think we're on 709, might be 708, 710, there or thereabouts. But we appreciate everyone that is, subscribing, liking our videos, commenting, interacting with us. So keep that up, please. Interact with us and all that good stuff. But Theo, the draft, we've been talking about this one for a while, but I feel like we've been talking about this for, I'm going to say, a couple of months. It feels like it's been on the horizon for a couple of months, but we are doing our Chelsea draft. I'm gonna allow you to determine the rules, lay down the law for us all, so we keep us all in order. But I am looking forward to this episode. It should be decent.
Same, yeah. I know that we've been talking about this one for a while, and I think even since the last international break, we've had this in the back of our minds, wanting to Chelsea 11 or draft fantasy, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's quite appropriate as well, given it's the 120th anniversary of Chelsea Football Club. And I think they're doing their own version of this on the app, where you get to pick your all-time 11. I think I was listening to a podcast a couple of months ago with Mika Richards, Gary Lineker, and Alan Shearer, and they did their own version of this with the Premier League players this season. So this one's purely Chelsea focused, all-time Chelsea players. But the rules, so each participant will have to draft a team of 11 Chelsea players and one manager, and we'll be taking it in turns to pick one player that's played for the club. Once a player is selected, though, they cannot be chosen by anyone else. So I'll give an example. If I pick Eden Hazard, then both the two of you would not be able to pick Eden Hazard, for instance. A couple more rules would kind of come to an agreement to determine the order of who goes first. However, we'll do what we call, I think, a snake draft. So player 1 will go first, then player 2, then player 3. Then player 3 will go again, then player 2, then player 1, then player 1 will go again, player 2, player 3, and so on. So then our order is fair, and there's no one who's kind of bottom and going to go last. A couple of extra rules. Each participant picks one player per round until their 11 is complete. Once a player is drafted, they cannot be picked again by anyone else, like I mentioned. Players must be drafted into realistic positions. So I think it goes without saying you can't have a goalkeeper as a striker, unless they maybe played as a striker and you want them there. Each team must have at least one goalkeeper, at least 3 defenders, and at least 3 midfielders, and at least 1 striker. And the draft will continue until all teams have picked, or all players have picked their 11 players and their 1 manager. And what we might find is, in our heads right now, we might have like a fixed position with what we like to go with. But as maybe your players that you want get selected by other players, then you might have to readjust your formation to kind of compromise for maybe a player that's gone or been selected by someone else. Is that clear?
Sounds fair. Yeah, sounds fair.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm excited for this, man. I'm glad you gassed for this, man.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I've literally got my notes on my phone, like 3 players for each position. That's how prepped I am.
Oh, you've done your homework.
I've done my homework.
God, man. I'm breaking it now, man. God.
Same. I'm not fully prepared. I've got like certain plays in my head that I think, yeah, right, I'm gonna need to put you here, put you there. But yeah, it all goes back to someone picks your player, then it goes out the window a little bit. So yeah, we'll have to see. But let's crack on. Let's get it all trying to do this on the fly. So hopefully, again, if you're on the audio version, I'd probably suggest at this point you head over to the YouTube version of this podcast. Pause it wherever you are on the audio. Head over to the YouTube, because you're probably going to find it a bit more entertaining if you can actually see what we're doing. But I think we decided the order before. Dharmesh was going to go first in terms of his pick first, which we'll give it to Dharmesh, seeing as is the newly recruited part of the channel.
This is your from the shed end christening, getting to go first.
The initiation.
Oh my god. Initiation. Oh my god. All the pressure's on me now, boys. Right. unfortunately, I get to go first, so I can literally pick any sort of player that I want. So,
Or
I'm
manager.
gonna
You
get
could
in
do
there.
manager as well.
Oh, you can go.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
picking a manager as well.
We need to pick a
yeah.
manager, but obviously, whether you go manager, goalkeeper, striker, left
Yeah,
back, right back, that's completely up to you now.
So, okay, so if I pick a manager, do I still get to go first with my other choice, or is it just I pick manager first, and then you guys go?
Manager will be one of your choice, one of your rounds. So,
Oh, okay,
personally,
no,
I
I
would
can
keep
I
that
can leave the
one.
manager.
Yeah,
That's fine. I want to
that's what
get
I
in with
was
the players
thinking.
first. So, I'm gonna put out there. I'm gonna go straight up for the striker first, bro.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go for Didier Drogba.
Okay.
Just because I think in every sort of other position, the way that I thought about this, there's a good enough sort of player in there for me to pick. I just don't think anyone will match the level that Drogba is, and obviously he's arguably the best striker that I've ever seen in my lifetime. Growing up watching Chelsea, clutch coming to finals and stuff like that. He's brought so many good memories to me, and obviously to you guys as well. So I'm gonna put out there Didier Drogba first for me, man. Has to be my team.
Can't argue that. I'm annoyed, pissed off, but I can't argue that one at all. It's a good pick. It's a very, very good pick, to be fair. Who's next in line? Is it me or you, Theo? I don't mind.
I'll let you go next.
No, you go.
Oh,
You
shall I
go.
go?
You go.
Okay,
Yeah, you go.
I'll go
Don't mind.
next. Yeah, Drogba, that's a good choice, Dharmesh, the ultimate big game player.
Yeah.
And what we will do as well at the end is we'll let the subscribers or the watchers vote for their favorite 11 amongst the three of our lineups. But I'm going to go with a position I think that's been quite hard to replace since he's left the club, and also because I think he's probably one of the best ever players in that position, not just in Chelsea history, but in all-time Premier League history and probably football history since I've started watching football. And that's left back, and that's going to be Ashley Cole as my left back. Not just for his defending, but also just the trophies won at the club, and obviously having that Arsenal kind of connection before coming to Chelsea, winning the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, scoring his penalty in Munich, that goal line clearance against Napoli in the build-up to the run to Munich. Yeah, I think definitely not just the best left back in Chelsea history, but for me the best left back in Premier League history as well. So that's my first choice, left back, Ashley Cole.
It's a solid pick. It's a solid pick. I can't lie.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he make a goal line clearance against Barcelona as well in that run, or no? Was that someone? Was that a different player?
He might have that game. Yeah, yes, I think he did. You're right, in the home game. It might have been Cahill actually calling the home leg. I think you're right.
Yeah, because I do remember the Napoli one. I think there was a Barcelona one as well. But yeah, solid pick, man. I'm annoyed at you.
Theo, the stage is yours now.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with a defender, but I'm gonna have to go with John Terry. Straight away. I'm trying to. I can see what you're both doing. You're getting the big hitters out there first, and I've got to follow suit. So I'm gonna go with John Terry for obvious reasons. Very similar to Ashley Cole. A position that I still don't necessarily think. I think we kind of covered over the cracks with it a little bit when we brought in Thiago Silva. And obviously we know Carvalho, Gary Cahill as well have been top for us in central defence, but I don't think there's another central defender that I could put in that position before I put John Terry in there. So for me, JT in the team straight away, no messing around.
Captain, leader, legend,
Mr.
John Terry. Yeah.
I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna put him in this kit. I'm just gonna randomly pick kits as well, by the way. So sometimes you might see the old school one. Sometimes you might see the new school one. It's just one of those things.
As long as there's no red on there. So
yeah, no, exactly. That will never be ever at all.
And you get to go again, I think now, Theo.
Oh yeah, I do. Oh, okay, interesting.
Oh, no.
Interesting. Oh. This is where it gets a bit tricky now, actually, because
I'm actually nervous. This is more nervy than the Champions League final, man, for me.
You have to pick tactically as well, thinking like
I know,
the others not going to pick or going to pick. Like.
So Drogba's gone. I think I'm going to have to pick a striker because there's not many that I can think of, and I'm going to have to go with the main man, Diego Costa. I'm going to put him in a black kit, actually. I know I like this kit, so I'm going to put him in this kit. for obvious reasons as well. Very much like Drogba. I feel like with Costa, I don't know. We just again I don't feel like we've ever replaced him. I feel like he was our last best striker that we've had at the club, and I think he was one of those players that we would have loved to have seen him play against Arsenal on Sunday. Just gone. No, he would have been one of those. He wouldn't have been shaking hands with, was it Timber? I don't know if you guys got to see that with Maresca, and I think it was Timber. He would have left him in 50 pieces on the floor after a crunching tackle. So I've gone with Diego Costa. That's my next one. I don't think there's many other strikers out there that I could put on the same level of Drogba and Costa in terms of how they made me feel in terms of strikers. So Diego Costa, second pick.
Also, like just on Costa as well. I also feel one thing I feel like, I don't know if you boys feel the same, but the longevity factor. That's the only thing that I'm sort of like disappointed in Costa, because he was only, we should have seen more of him. Yeah, really, because he was only with us for, was it 2.5 seasons, 3 seasons? Yeah. Whereas like you see players like Drogba, you seen players like I'm talking about the clubs for like Harry Kane. You seen players like Salah. They were there for a long time, but we never. Costa was that good that I guess we bought him towards the end of his peak, where he just drastically sort of dropped off as soon as Kanté sort of came in and stuff. But I wish we saw more of Costa. That's basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I think we needed to be fair.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm already happy with my squad though already. I've only got 2 on there, but I'm happy with them already. Which order are we going back in then? So I guess is it Dharmesh next, or is it?
It's back to me, then Dharmesh will have 2 picks afterwards. Yeah,
okay,
that's how we do it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think that's how we do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Cool. So I can kind of leave my striker to the end now, because you both picked yours, and I've got 2 names on here. They're not to the level of Drogba and Costa annoyingly, but they're still very good names. But I'll leave that to the end. I'll go for one of the players that made me fall in love with watching Chelsea. Our record all-time goal scorer, the ultimate box-to-box midfielder, and that's Frank Lampard. I'll put him in midfield for now, but I might adjust things and maybe move him up to like more of a 10 position. But yeah, what can you say more about Frank Lampard? Just best midfielder. I think when we talk about best midfielders in the Premier League, I think he's definitely up there in that conversation of the likes of Scholes, Gerrard, Vieira, maybe De Bruyne now. I think when you think about Chelsea, I think you think about probably some of the names we already selected: John Terry, Drogba. I think the third one is always Lampard. I think it's always those 3 players that come to mind, and they've all now been picked. So yeah, I'll go with Lampard in my midfield for my second pick.
It's a good shout. I'm not mad at it either. I am mad at it, actually. I'm mad because I want it.
Yeah, right.
Not a bad shout.
So now it's back to Dharmesh, and you get 2 picks now, Dharmesh.
Oh, okay. Now I've got to think sort of tactically as well. Positions that, God, okay.
The pressure.
Yes, I told you, boys, this is more nervy than the 2012 Champions League final, man. Honestly. Okay, I'm gonna go for. Okay, because it's not been mentioned yet, I'm gonna go for the goalkeeper position. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it, boys. Petr Cech and goal for me. I mean, what can you say about Petr Cech? Honestly, just made some world class saves for us. Kept us in games, won us points, won us trophies. One save recently that's randomly stuck to my head for some reason, or 2, is the I think it was the Andy Carroll header in the 2012 FA Cup final, and the Javier Hernandez save. I don't know why those 2 are randomly just stuck to my head in my mind. Obviously he had that horrific injury against Reading, I think it was, and he's come back since then. And he speaks for himself. He's got the most clean sheets as well, isn't he? In the Prem as a goalkeeper. Yeah. And what a leader, what a legend as well. I generally don't think there's an argument for anyone else to be sort of a best goalkeeper for Chelsea, really. I think he's the best ever. So I've gone with Petr Cech.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Actually, weirdly enough, my brother was in the Heathrow business lounge next to Petr Cech last week.
Oh, really?
But the 2 saves you listed, the Andy Carroll one in the FA Cup final at Wembley, and Chicharito one at Stamford Bridge, and I think in the FA Cup the following season. I think two same saves that always come to mind just from point blank range. The away fans almost celebrating the goal, and then Petr Cech somehow like claws it on the line. And I was actually at those games and I saw it in front of my eyes, and it's almost even more special when you see it in real time in the stadium.
Yeah.
And
you probably don't appreciate it as much in the stadium until you watch it back at home, if that makes sense a little bit.
I mean, like, this was like before the days, I think, of goal line technology and VAR. So in my head, I'm like, it must have gone in. It must have gone in. And then you just see a replay of it, and you're like, no, he managed to save it. It was on the line. But these are some saves just to back your choice, Dharmesh. Not some saves, some statistics. Sorry. 80.5%. Petr Cech saved 80.5% of all shots on target he faced during his time at Chelsea.
Wow.
Another statistic, Petr Cech spent 8 hours watching Bayern Munich penalties before the Champions League final. He dived the right way for 6 of those penalties and saved 3 of them. And then apparently he was one of the first people to have a drugs test straight after the game. Some other statistics. This is absolutely crazy statistics. But during his 11th season at Chelsea, Cech faced a total of 1,241 shots on target.
That's crazy.
Saved 1,000 of those.
Wow.
Only conceding 241 goals in 11 seasons, and that's an average of 22 goals per season with a save percentage, like I said, of 80.5% with 166 clean sheets. So yeah, I'm kind of annoyed now, kind of reading off those statistics again, that you got to pick him, which probably means that me and Theo might have to go for the snake at one point, whose name we don't really want to mention, even though he's a world-class.
You should not be named.
But yeah, I'll let you go for your second choice again now, Dharmesh.
Oh, okay. I'm torn between 2 because I know eventually these 2 will be picked by one of you, but it's just which one do I want more for the team that I have. So I'm gonna go for Ivanovic at right back, just because I think the other position I was thinking of, I think there's enough cover there, and I can sort of let him go in a way, but at the same time be annoyed. But eventually, when one of you guys pick him, so Ivanovic. Honestly, what a signing he was. I believe he was was he a January signing? I think he was, wasn't he?
January signing, yeah. I think
2000. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a leader, what a legend as well, man. Just the amount of goals he came up with as well, like clutch goals. You think of like with City with Rodri, Ivanovic was that kind of player for us. Obviously different positions, but he came up with some important goals for us, and a rock at the back as well. 1-on-1 defending was solid. Can't praise him enough, man. We could definitely do with someone like him in the team. So yeah, gone with Ivanovic.
I think he was very consistent, wasn't he? I think you could rely on him. I remember watching him, I think, when he signed for West Brom, and it was sad to see him end up the way he did. His legs were completely gone. He wasn't able to. I think there was a game where he did.
Minor, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was really consistent for us, and we got the best years out of him. But he was, unbelievable at right back. And like you said, he popped up for goals when it mattered as well. And defensively, he was just as good. So, we have to look back at times when we had. Maybe when we finish this, we'll see how many decent players we had at Chelsea over the years. I think it's over to you now, Theo.
Yeah, I absolutely loved Ivanovic, and not only was he a great defender, but he came in clutch for big goals. Semi-final against Liverpool in the League Cup, Europa League final against Benfica, and the one that always comes to mind is the extra time goal against Napoli that took us to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Another great choice. But I'm actually going to go with another right back, just because I want my 2 fullback positions picked, purely because I think it's the tough positions to kind of go for. And that's another captain, another leader, another legend, and that's Cesar Azpilicueta. We'll just call him Dave.
Sorry,
I'll let you put Aspi and nothing else.
I'm too tired to be.
But yeah, a class player. We have to remember he played left back under Mourinho, I think, in his second season at the club. He then played right back. He then played in a back three with Kanté. He was the captain that won us the Champions League in Porto in 2021. Just a bit similar to Branislav Ivanovic, kind of sad to see how his career finished at Chelsea at that final season, where he felt like he was struggling to keep up with the pace of the game. But yeah, I think we should just remember him for being that leader, that legend, that Mr. Consistent, and that famous quote that Mourinho said, "Give me 11 Azpilicuetas and I'll win you the Champions League." So yeah, again, like Dharmesh says, like, we can't praise these players enough, and Aspie was a fantastic loyal servant to our club. So I'm glad I've got my 2 fullbacks sorted
I was
now.
gonna pick Aspie at left back. My plan was Aspie at left back. I'm so annoyed. I was like, oh, I should have just picked him at left back first. Oh.
Is it back?
Back
It's
to
back
you,
over.
man. Yeah,
Back over
you get
to me.
2
Is it?
choices now. Yeah.
So, at what point do you get 2 choices?
Because I'm always in the middle. I think that's how it works. So
okay.
I never get 2 choices. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. Yeah, I forgot about my squad already. I feel like I'm gonna have to do this because I know. Like, I mean, I'm probably gonna be brilliant in attack, but awful in defense by the looks of it already. But I'm gonna have to go for Eden Hazard, simply because I know he's on bad. Simply for the audio listeners, both Theo and Dharmesh are absolutely pissed off. But I'm gonna have to do it because I think if I don't, yeah, and I don't need to explain why. I mean, you just need to understand that he was one of the greatest ever Premier League players ever. And I don't use those words loosely, or I'm not saying it with a Chelsea bias. He was actually one of the best players in the Premier League by a shadow of a doubt. He carried our team the last season. If you think back to even up into the final in Baku, he carried that team that season. Instrumental for Kanté. He's it. I mean, do I need to say anymore?
Yeah, he's a class player. I think he just made the game look easy, didn't he? It almost like he had a string attached to his body and the ball, little magician. And a lot of players that, when you ask, I think it's Mikel Antonio, who said who was the best player you ever faced, and he kept saying Eden Hazard, and a lot of other players kind of echoed Mikel Antonio's words. So yeah, a great pick for you on the left wing position.
And he
was. The ball would just stick with his feet as well every time, and he'd draw defenders as well. That's why I think a lot of our players around the attackers around Hazard did so well that those couple of seasons because of him drawing defenders and doubling up. But yeah, what a player, man! Like, you guys have taken the words out of my mouth, to be fair, with this one. But yeah, what I do to have sort of a prime Hazard back, or even like a
50% Hazard.
Yeah.
Take him now over some of the players that we've got in those positions. You look at him, and there was times with Hazard that I'm not saying he went missing, because I don't think he did that, but I wouldn't say he was, throughout his whole Chelsea career, that he was amazing and he played at the top level. But he definitely was, even on a bad day, he still got something decent out of him. And
it's John Obi Mikel that keeps saying on his podcast that he was awful in training. He would never do the drills properly. He was quite lazy. But every time you'd asked him, why are you training? He said, don't worry, come Saturday, I'll win you the game.
He'll be there. He'll turn up.
He would do that. So just naturally born and naturally talented in a way.
Do you reckon that's why his career just sort of didn't, the trajectory of his career and the progression when he went to Real Madrid, and it just kind of fell off because he didn't actually keep himself potentially in good shape?
Yeah, I think that definitely played a part. Maybe with age, with injuries, he struggled maybe to keep up with the intensity of the routines. And apparently someone's told me, I read it somewhere, that the Real Madrid fitness or the Real Madrid training regimes are a lot more straining on the body.
Yeah, aggressive.
Really aggressive, yeah. So maybe that caught up with him. Part of me would have just loved to see him come back to Chelsea and just prove again that he wanted
that move so bad, didn't you?
One last dance. I think we kept mentioning it like back in my previous episodes of the pod. But yeah, really good pick for you. And fortunately for you now, you get to go for another player. You get a second choice.
I'm in a toss-up between 2. And I've realised clearly I haven't got a goalkeeper yet. I've got a couple of in my attack. I've got my defender. But I am going to go with someone who I can't think it was you, Theo, that said someone made you sort of fall in love with football. Do I go with this person or not? Yeah, forget it. We're going with him. We're going with Claude Makelele.
Oh, man.
So good they named the position after him.
Exactly. He has to be in that team. I'm not sure how this is going to work yet, but he's got to be in the team for me. Again, someone that just made things look easy in that midfield. And I feel like, I'm not saying he changed the game, he revolutionized the game, but I feel like a lot of teams ended up playing the Makelele role because of obviously him, as you just said. So yeah, for me, he's got to be in the team. And during that period, he was so crucial for us as well. And I think that's, you can't have
praise, I think. be honest
I was
with
about to
you.
say we don't give him enough praise.
Mm.
There was another player I was going to go with, but I'm glad I haven't gone with him because now when I'm thinking about it, the reason the other player I would have picked was in our team was because of Claude Makelele. So, which I'm sure you both can understand who that is. But I'll say no more in case you don't pick him, and I can pick him anyway.
This is
No,
some reverse psychology going on here, man.
Trying to get in the minds.
That's it. Yeah,
I think
literally.
that would be a cheat code if you had these two players in the same team. I think the one you're referring to.
Imagine, can you imagine? Listen,
Oh
15
god.
goals conceded all season would have been nothing. We would have been like 6 goals conceded all season had we had the two of them midfield. But
Yeah, I think you're reading my words because I'm next, and that's the player I'm going to go for. In fact, it's going to be N'Golo Kanté in my midfield. The little man who will cover every single blade of grass on the pitch. Man of the match in Porto in 2021, signed from Leicester, I think for just under like 36 million in summer 2016.
Yeah.
And just from the off, he just was absolutely instrumental. Created a really good midfield partnership with Nemanja Matic. Won us the Premier League in his first season, then won us the FA Cup in his second season. And just one of those type of players that would do everything with a smile and an absolute joy to watch. Just a shame maybe towards the end of his Chelsea career that he did struggle with injuries. But when you think back to that game against Arsenal in Baku, the Europa League final, I think he was playing with some kind of like knee injury or something. He had like a strap around his knee, so he was basically had one functioning leg and somehow managed to boss that midfield and intercept all the balls.
He could walk back into our team tomorrow. That's how good he is.
Yeah. And it's just that one picture that always comes to mind. I think it's when he got man of the match away to Real Madrid en route to the final in Porto, and it's just pouring down with rain, and he's just there in some flip-flops holding his man of the match trophy. It's like one of those really cold images. But yeah, it's got to be the little man N'Golo Kanté in my midfield for my fourth pick.
Right, okay.
Solid, man. Miss him as well, man.
Yeah, definitely. He's still in Saudi, isn't he? Still playing.
Still in Saudi. Still in Saudi, man. Yeah, fair play to him, man.
Gotta come back. One last dance.
And now I think, Dharmesh, you get 2 picks as well.
I get 2 picks. Okay. Damn, it's actually getting harder and harder now. Now that some of my choices have been taken away, but I think I have to. I think I have to get a midfielder in there. I'm gonna go for Cesc Fabregas in midfield.
Oh no!
I knew. I was
But do you know what? Funny enough, I actually changed my mind last minute through my mind because the one I had down, I was like, should I go for him? But then I was like, oh shit, no, I forgot about thingies. Big Cesc, man. Yeah.
You saw my pictures on the adverts on Sunday, didn't you? With my kit on. He's one of my favorite players.
I'm surprised you never went for him first, though. To be fair, Theo, because I thought
he was my third choice in midfield, but yeah, Dharmesh has snatched him off me now.
Yeah. So sorry, not sorry, man.
Oh man, I know that one's burning Theo inside as well because he would. I generally think I thought he was going to pick him first.
Yeah, my Twitter handle is named after him, so it's one of those.
I'm not saying anything, but I thought he was going to pick him first.
But yeah, honestly, on Fabregas. Yeah, honestly, on Fabregas as well. Like, we obviously signed him quite late towards his career. Because obviously he was at Arsenal, then he was at Barcelona as well, where the move at Barcelona didn't really work out for him. He had a lot of injury problems at Arsenal as well. But since coming from Barcelona, he's absolutely revolutionized our midfield. Added a different dimension that we lacked the season before. Because the 13-14 season, we sort of finished third. And didn't have that sort of creativity from midfield. And obviously we go and sign Fabregas. And no, I'm sure everyone listening and watching, and you guys will remember the assist at Burnley. Genuinely one of the best assists that I've ever seen. Any sort of Chelsea player, any player done, and he brought a different dimension to our midfield. Like we've had a lot of midfielders that are quite robust that win the ball back in the middle of the park. Got great engines, but I've gone for more of a flary type player in Fabregas. Just the amount of goals he came up with as well. Clutch goals, clutch assists as well. A leader on the pitch as well, very experienced, and yeah, he's doing well in his management role as well. So can't speak high enough of him, and it just winds Arsenal fans up that he said he never signed for them, and then came to us and won multiple stuff. So yeah, big up to Fabregas, man. Yeah,
He's one of those players that just for me has a football brain. You look at
Oh
him,
yeah.
the way he reads the game on the pitch and off the pitch as well. When he talks about football, I'm not sure you heard an ITV documentary about
Yeah, I
Fabregas
watched
and
it.
the way he talks about the game, the way he studies the game. That now, like you said, Dharmesh, he's a manager at Como, doing a fantastic job. And I think what I just loved about him is when Mourinho first came to Chelsea, or when second time he came at Chelsea and signed Fabregas in summer 2014. I think he drew on a napkin. I think it was Mourinho, the formation he wanted at Chelsea, the players he still wanted to sign, and told Fabregas, if you join my team and we get these other players, this team's going to win us the league. And then that's what happened, and the rest is history in a way. But yeah, fantastic player, and one of those players that I just absolutely loved watching. I still love watching when it comes to those highlights. And like you said, that assist against Burnley.
I was about to say, wasn't that voted the best assist ever?
Yeah, I think I saw that recently. Best ever Premier
only
League
like
assist.
last week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
only last week. I'm sure I read or it was on Twitter and said it was the best assist ever in the Premier League. So,
What a player.
and of course he done it in blue, not red. So the blue. I can't remember. I don't think we were wearing blue that night. Where we was against Burnley. So
I think it was like a dark shade. Yeah, it was that we were wearing blue because I've literally got that footage, and he had that horrible. I think he went for tried to go for a buzz cut look, Fabregas, and it didn't look well. It didn't look well. Yeah, he was rocking a buzz cut that summer. He was wearing the blue kit, but yeah,
crazy.
I think you got Fabregas in midfield, and you get to go again now.
Yeah, so it's tough. I feel like I have to get a centre back in there. So, do I go for that one or that one? I'm gonna go for Thiago Silva in defence. No.
Oh man,
We don't force out the other choice that I have, but I think the other choice will get picked. I expect it to be picked next or at some point. But yeah, Thiago Silva. I mean, he came to the club where we were sort of at our lowest, or we weren't at our best, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Where he was signed under a free transfer, despite us spending above 200 million that summer with Havertz, Werner, Ziyech coming in, and Mendy as well, and all of a sudden, this free transfer, this 39-year-old comes in. Thiago Silva, obviously well known, AC Milan, PSG. Didn't really expect much of him, to be fair. Like when he first signed, I was like, okay, it's good to have a bit of experience. I don't think he'll play many minutes because of his age, but
proved us wrong.
That's how high I rate him. Genuinely, what was that?
He proved us all wrong because he came in.
He proved everyone wrong. He obviously won the Champions League, got reunited with Tuchel, won the Champions League with us, was pivotal as well. In that Champions League run as well, and even in the league under Tuchel, the sort of run that we went on to the Carabao Cup final and the FA Cup final as well, he was pivotal for those as well. Was immense. Can't remember a bad game that he had apart from West Brom and both West Brom games actually. Funny enough, in that season we got battered by them, but what a player, man! And it's just mad how he came to the club where we weren't sort of at our best compared to the other players on the list I've got, but still sort of be in amongst the conversation of best ever Chelsea players. That's how good he was. A leader as well, and yeah, what's he now? 42? Is he 42? 43?
I reckon he's 40. I reckon he's 40 or 41.
Oh, he's only 40, 41. Okay, I thought it was.
Might have turned 40 in
last
September
year.
And still playing in Fluminense in Brazil.
Yeah, still playing as well. But what a guy! Even aerially as well, he was really good in the air as well. Like scored a lot of goals from corners as well for us. So yeah, can't speak highly enough on Silva, man. Just obviously wish we signed him before that. He would have been a great segue into do you know when we've eventually phased out? I'm not going to say the centre backs just in case you guys remember it, but so you play tactics all the time, man. But eventually when we phased out that sort of like 2013 to 2017 centre backs, it would have been a good time. It would have been a good time for him to sort of bring him then. And that way, the players that are sort of there here right now could have learned off him even longer. So, but yeah, can't speak highly enough of Silva, man. Big up to him, man. Miss him.
Yeah, and I think something we just don't get enough now with players like Silva is just that passion and that love for the club and the game. His kids are still in the academy. I think his wife and his family still live in London, and it seems like the long-term plan is for him to come back to Chelsea and have some kind of role as a coach around Cobham. But yeah, if we had like 11 players with the same mentality and the same desire to win games and the same hunger to still compete at the highest level, then as Thiago Silva, then we'd be a whole different team right now. So a fantastic pick for you.
So you've done your two.
Yeah, so it's back to me now, I think, and
Yeah.
I don't have a bloody centre back, so it looks like yeah. I think centre backs is a small pool to select from. But then I also want to go for a more attacking player because I think they're going to get picked quite soon. Yeah, I'm going to go with. Actually, no, I'm going to go with centre back. I'm going to go with Ricardo Carvalho.
I knew it. I knew this was going to get picked. Oh, that was the player that was in my mind.
There's a big reason why. It's because otherwise Theo would pick him and have John Terry and Carvalho.
That is so true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You read my mind as well. Literally, I was thinking. That's why I've been quiet while you was all talking about Thiago Silva. I didn't say a word because I thought, let me just not say anything. But clearly, it didn't work. But it's a good pick.
Yeah, absolute rock. He was an absolute rock in defence alongside John Terry in that 2004-2005 season when he only conceded 15 goals, and I think very underrated now as well. When we talk about Premier League great centre backs, we often talk about Terry, Ferdinand, Vidic, Company, but no one really mentions Carvalho, so very underrated in that conversation. But yeah, I'll go with Carvalho. So that means I've got 3 of my 4 defenders selected.
Wow.
I think with Carvalho as well, it was a partnership that he had with John Terry. And I think that's always going to be hard to sort of replicate that again, because you don't really get that in modern day football now, where even you look back to who can I use, like a Jagielka and Lescott. It's a really bad example, but they were really good together. Do you know what I mean? Because you get 2 defenders that are always constantly. If you think back to our season this season, how many times have we swapped and changed for Farn with Badie Shield with Colwell with Chalobah and Tossen? You're never going to get the consistency. And I think thinking back now, Carvalho, Terry, just like it's like a wall. You're not going to get through it. So
that's why I wasn't going to let you pick him to go alongside John Terry.
If only. I did try and keep my mouth shut and it never worked. Didn't work. Is it my pick?
Yeah, and you get 2 picks now.
You're gonna have to keep me on track with this, because just looking at my list of players, it's tough.
By the way, guys, Bakayoko's available. Yeah, if anyone wants to
I was going to pick
that one. So.
Get Winston Bogard in there somewhere.
I think so. If you still need a left back, Baba Rahman's available as well.
I might have to at some point, to be fair.
Marco Marin.
Oh, don't. Right, I'm going to pick my goalkeeper. I'm going to go with Carlo Cudicini, just because I can't pick the guy that cannot be named, and I don't think I could put Kepa in. Kepa. I couldn't put Kepa in there either. So, and again, Carlo Cudicini, I think he's not spoken about enough. What he did for the club. We sort of we were very sort of generous with our goalkeepers. When you think back to even going back even further, Ed De Hoey. I know he wasn't the best goalkeeper, but he helped us win things. Cudicini as well. So I think Cudicini's overlooked because of the fact that Petr Cech was then there after, and we always remember Petr Cech before we think about Cudicini, but just both as important as each other. And let's not forget, we've had some sort of duds in between those goalkeepers as well that just haven't really worked out. So, and I'm struggling for choices now in goalkeepers, so I've had to go with Cudicini, but yeah.
Good choice. I think that's my pick there. Chelsea social media admins posted a really good video of him because like I said, they're doing a similar thing where they're getting fans to vote for their all-time 11s, and it was a fantastic save from a Ruud van Nistelrooy header, where he just stretches out and saves it from, I think it's a David Beckham cross. So yeah, fantastic goalkeeper. And I think, like I mentioned on this pod a few times, I play keeper for my 5-a-side. I've always loved goalkeeping and the role, and he's one of those players that made me fall in love with that position. The first kit I had was the grey one which Cudicini would have been on the back of. So yeah, annoyingly now I'm going to have to pick a goalkeeper afterwards that like you said, we don't want to name him on the podcast, but
That's why I got in there first. That's why I got in there first.
But you do get a second pick as well now.
I do, and I'm going to put him in just because he's a favourite of mine. I'm not saying he was the best player for us, but I'm going to have to put Gianfranco Zola in my team, just because for me, he was just, again, reminded me so much of Hazard. Just the magician, ball at his feet, low gravity with the ball, just running past, almost Messi-esque in a way. But yeah, he's just, for me, I wish we signed him a lot earlier in his career as well. I know it was always going to be difficult, just where we signed him from and all the rest of it, but it meant so much. I think when he came in, Abramovich was just coming in. So when Zola was leaving, Abramovich was just coming in, wasn't he? So, and I remember there's a whole thing about Abramovich trying to convince Zola to stay, and he wanted him to stay. He was personally phoning Gianfranco Zola to stay at the club whilst the takeover was happening. But he was immense for us back in the day. Just immense player.
I think there's a third player you could pick in at number 10 position, and if you have Hazard, Zola, and that other third player that I'm not going to name yet, that would be a crazy front, like attacking front four.
I've got one in mind. I'm not saying who it is.
I've already got my pick as well.
I think I know who it is because I know you like this player a lot.
We'll be stopping everything if anyone takes this player. Everything
the stream will just end.
I'm kind of worried now because I was like, am I missing out a player or something, or have I forgotten about a player or something? But yeah.
Yeah, but I know that Theo really likes this player, and I think that's going to be his pick in that number 10 hole.
I might surprise you. You never know.
Maybe, yeah. This my 11's looking very one-sided for the moment. There's no kind of attacking players. So yeah, I'm going to pick my left winger. Actually, I'll show my right winger because he loves to cut inside and shoot with his left foot, and that's Ian Robben on the right wing for me. Amazing player at Chelsea. Just a shame that maybe injuries did hold him back. Went to Madrid, never really lived up to his full potential and hype at Madrid, and really found his feet at Bayern Munich after. And I think even as Chelsea fans, when you saw how well he was doing at Bayern Munich, we were happy for him.
Yeah,
very instrumental in those Mourinho seasons, and very instrumental for us in Munich as well in 2012 when he missed his penalty against Petr Cech. So I still think there was a bit of blue blood that was there with him, and he did as a massive solid in Munich. But yeah, my right winger is going to be Ian Robben.
It's a really good pick.
Even Pete just saw at Bayern Munich. Like we saw at Bayern Munich how unreal he was as well.
Yeah,
because I feel like at the Chelsea career he wasn't. We didn't see the best. Like obviously Robben was great. We saw very good stuff from him, but we saw an even higher level when he was at Bayern Munich. It's kind of the same. Not obviously compared to both, but obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. We saw very good Cristiano Ronaldo at United, but then when he went to Madrid, that's it. Just
hit the ceiling. Higher. Once you hit the ceiling, he didn't. Ronaldo definitely hit the ceiling at United, but Robben definitely didn't hit his ceiling at Chelsea. And then you got to see the progression. And when he was at Bayern Munich, he was just electrifying.
A cheat code.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
That left foot, absolute joke. Magic wand, wasn't it?
Yeah, literally. Still no goalkeeper. Still no striker.
Not yet. My strikers and goalkeepers can wait because you both picked yours, so I think I'll keep that to the end.
Fair enough.
Could end up with Chris Sutton.
Mishi Batshuayi.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, man. It could end up with him, but yeah, you can't be picking Chris Sutton. Yeah, but back over to Dharmesh.
Ooh, okay. Right. So I'm gonna go for I've got no attacking players yet. Damn, okay. Right, I'm gonna go for the number 10. Fuck it. I'm gonna go for the number 10. So my pick for number 10 it's good. This is the most intense moment, but I'm gonna go for Juan Mata and number 10. Was that the one?
That was one. That was one of them. Yeah.
I know that Theo's going to go for another 10. Yeah.
It must be one I've completely forgotten about.
No, that Juan Mata's a great shout though. Really good shout.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Juan Mata. I think I could have gone for another player, but I want to save this player for another position if that makes sense. I might give it away, but who cares? But But honestly, Juan Mata for those couple of seasons that we had him was unreal. Something like didn't he get over like 30 GA for us in his prime sort of season for us?
Yeah.
What a player, man, unreal. Was one of the main reasons why we won. He took the corner for the Champions League, didn't he, as well? He was good in the Champions League final. He was good in the run-in as well. Obviously won the Europa League with us as well. Yeah, he's just an all-round great player, man. Such a magician to watch, man. And it's a shame things didn't work out for him after, because I think he would have been a useful player for us going further on. But obviously we had Mourinho back at the time, so yeah, and then we obviously miss his sort of creativity. I know we've got that in another current player, but with Juan Mata we see very similar traits to Cole Palmer. So I think it's fair to compare the both of them, to be fair, because of the ceilings that they've hit and the type of players they are. But yeah, for me, I'm going for Juan Mata, man, number 10. They're very underrated, I think, and I just think you'll see my team, to be fair. So
yeah, it's crazy to think that we were like almost fighting for Juan Mata, and he was only at Chelsea for 2 years and a half. So again, a player that really had his impact at the club, and like you said, just a shame that things when Mourinho came back didn't really work out for him, and was
didn't he get back-to-back player of the seasons?
I think he might have
did,
2012 and 2013.
I
think, and like you said, got the assist in Munich. Yeah, great player, and really just another player as well. Great football brain, and I think he was doing like a business course on the side. So type of guy that I think is just off the pitch as well. And I met him a few times, and an absolute gentleman. Really good guy.
Okay.
Yeah. And luckily for you, you get to go again now.
Yeah.
Again, right? I've got no left side, so I feel like I should fill in the left side. So it's a shame Ashley Cole's sort of taken, because we've not really had anyone in that position where I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go for this player, or I'm like, oh no one's at the level. I think that's just a scene that Ashley Cole's hit for us in Chelsea colours. But I'm gonna go for William Gallas at left back. Which yeah, I'll probably go Gallas left back, because I think he did do a great job for us in that sort of title winning season. And obviously people might remember Gallas from Arsenal and the Spurs. Like, that's when Gallas was completely washed, like he was done. But I think for the time that we had him, yeah, he was a solid player for us, And, no one really screams out to me as left back. Maybe I'm just trying to rejig my memory now of any sort of left backs we've had.
Have you both got your left backs? You've both got your left backs, haven't you? Okay, I can reel off some names then. So in a minute.
I feel my memory just gone crap, to be honest with you. I've probably forgotten about someone so obvious, but
there's not many. Yeah. There's not many. I think.
But my initial gut feeling was to stick William Gallas in there.
Yeah,
it's a good shout, and I think he's playing in the Legends game this weekend at Anfield as well. It's a good player. Yeah.
So that's your second pick. You've got Juan Mata, William Gallas. Let's just do a quick recap of your team. So you've got Petr Cech in goal. Right back, you've gone for Branislav Ivanovic. Thiago Silva as a centre back so far. William Gallas as left back. In your midfield, you've got Cesc Fabregas. In the 10, you've got Juan Mata, and you've got Didier Drogba as your number 9. Theo, back to you. So no goalkeeper.
No goalkeeper yet, but I can keep that to the end. I've got Ashley Cole as my left back. I've got Ricardo Carvalho as my centre back. Cesar Azpilicueta as my right back. Kanté and Lampard as my 2 midfielders, and I and Robin on the right wing. I am going to go now for... I'll be kind and I'll give you the number 10 you want.
No. You can. That's not the rules of the game.
But I think I kind of want to fill out my second.
I'm trying to. I'm actually. I don't think I've got another 10 in my head that I can think of.
Okay. I really wanted Fabregas as the kind of like the more attacking kind of 10.
I'm trying to think who you think I'm thinking about. To be fair.
I'm trying to think what you're both thinking. What you're thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. You pick him. Pick who you think.
In that case, I'll pick him. I'm going to go with John Cole.
Oh, no! Man, that's ruined my plans, man. I plan to have him on on one of the flanks.
Yeah, I could tell. I feel like that was where you were. I know. I think we did our most underrated Chelsea players one episode, and I think Theo literally went on and for 10 minutes saying how he loved Joe Cole, like ultimate five-a-side player, kind of like
He is. He still could play football today in our Chelsea squad.
Great player, loves the
Gonna
club.
put everyone in the same colour.
I'm stressed out now, man.
Yeah, still lives locally. That goal against United, the back heel as well, I think, against United at Old Trafford. Fantastic player, and just made the game look easy. And I think similarly to how you spoke about Zola and Hazard, and
he's up there.
Palmer, I think Joe Cole is up there as well, and he just made the game look easy and just a little trickery with his feet. I'm
disgusted in myself.
Yeah, just a shame that I feel like
disgusted.
When I first started properly going to Stamford Bridge regularly, I think he was slowly being, phased out of the team, or I think he was already transferred to Liverpool. But yeah, I'm glad to have him in my team, and also I'm glad to avoid you having Zola, Hazard, and Joe Cole, because that would be illegal.
I'm actually disgusted in myself. I can't believe that. You know, it should have been the one. Like I said to you about Fabregas, that should have been my first pick. Joe Cole. Yeah, I don't know who I'm going to put in the 10 now. I might have to have a think about that. But so far I've got Carlo Cudicini, John Terry as centre back, Makelele in midfield, Hazard, Zola on the wings with Costa up front. Wow, it's getting tough now. It's absolutely getting a bit. It's getting a bit tough.
I'm just curious to know your left back is, man, because
there isn't many others. There's not many others. There's two that's in my mind at the moment. Neither of them I would say were brilliant, but they had moments as left backs. So I think for the consistency,
no one's picked a manager yet either. Just
yeah, I'm gonna leave that till last, I think. But I'm not happy with this pick. I'll be honest. I'm caveating it. I'm not happy with the pick, but I've been backed into the corner for this one. So, and I'm still thinking it's like a flip a coin moment. This is the first worst pick I've done so far. I'm gonna have to go with Wayne Bridge. It was either him or Marcus Alonso, and I've gone with Wayne Bridge. I've gone with Wayne Bridge. Yeah, it's neither of them. I can't really say much about either of them. Alonso was good, but he had moments where he was really, really bad as well. But he did score some really crucial goals for us. Wayne Bridge, Phil was probably part of a better team overall. That's my rationale behind it, but I'm not happy with that. I don't want to talk about that pick too much. I'm not happy with that.
I'm surprised you didn't go for the other choice that was
Alonso. Oh, which one?
No, the other one in my head. I don't want to say it until we all get all our left backs. And
we've all picked him. I think everyone's got a left back.
Wait, he's got Cole. I genuinely thought you were going to pick someone like Cucurella.
Nah, I can't. I don't. Like Cucurella's had a good season, but I think to put him in this squad now would be a bit premature. I think
you got Emerson. Emerson's another choice as well, but obviously you don't. Yeah, he wasn't.
But then I think for the consistency, which is why I've gone for Wayne Bridge. I think he's the one that was a bit more consistent in terms of the performances he put in. But Alonso was up there as well. Obviously, Ashley Cole's the main one, and I think the other shout would Graham Lasso probably would have been in there. Celestine Babayaro. I'm sure he played left back.
Yeah, he played left back for a bit, I think. Yeah. But when you think about it as well, like just the left back positions, but we haven't been really blessed with too many, you know.
We said that a few months ago on the pod.
Yeah. Well, we're not being blessed in that position, to be honest with you. We've seen a lot of all the other positions on the pitch we've been blessed with, but I think left back's one position where, we've not really. None of us are sort of happy, apart from obviously Theo, who's picked the best one. But
even in there early.
Yourself, obviously, we're like, we'll pick it, but
Wayne Bridge isn't a bad shout.
Paulo Ferreira is another shout.
Yeah, he was.
He left back at times.
He did. I'm disappointed in myself. I've literally this round has been the worst one because I've lost out on Joe Cole, and now I've picked Wayne Bridge as my left back, so I'm not entirely happy. But But this is where it gets really tricky now. Let's have a quick look at little butchers at my list of players. All right, okay. No, you guys,
this player I'm thinking of.
you guys can shoot me down.
The tank.
I'm going with Michael Ballack. Now, I don't know where I'm going to put him yet, so I might move him, but I'm going to have to go with Michael Ballack. Just because I feel like with Michael Ballack, he was, like you just said, he's a tank, the engine. I feel like I don't know if it's because of this, maybe the seasons that he played for us, but I don't think he gets spoken about enough. And one matters the same as well. I don't feel like those plays were, maybe it's because of the times when they moved to Chelsea, but they don't really get spoken about as much as, say, Eden Hazard or Diego Costa or Didier Drogba. But Michael Ballack was pivotal in our seasons. Don't know what you both think, but I feel like he was one of the better players for us.
No, he was on my midfield list, actually. Very underrated as well. And it just felt like such a statement that when we were signing the likes of Ballack, Deco, Shevchenko, these absolute gems from other top European teams, and they were coming to Chelsea.
You're saying some names there, Theo. Might have to jot some of those names down.
Deco, Shevchenko. I'm not sure they'd be a priority, but yeah, they might give you a bit of
inspiration to add other players.
Inspiration, yeah. But no, I agree. I really like Ballack, and I still feel like he doesn't really get the credits, or he doesn't really get his flowers when we speak about all-time best.
I think Ballack's also one of those players. It's a bit weird because he wasn't everyone's cups of tea, if that makes sense. Like, not really many people rated him that much, but some people did quite a lot. So it's a bit of a 50-50 one. He wasn't really popular with us. I think maybe because of the time that we signed him as well. We maybe signed him a bit too late on paper, but yeah, he was a great player, and obviously was clutch in moments as well, and really helped our sort of midfield. And yeah, he get German international as well. He made the national team quite a few times as well. Yeah, was pivotal for Germany as well. So yeah, solid pick, man. Really solid pick. He was on my list originally, but I can sort of make do without him, I guess. Even though it's crap that obviously he's been picked, but I can make do without him, I think.
Pretty sure he was the captain of the German national team when we signed him, either him or Philipp Lahm.
I think you're right.
I think
you might be right. I'm not disappointed in my team, actually. It's taken a bit of shape now.
Very good.
I feel like your OCD just kicked in when you changed Costa's kit from black to blue, didn't it?
We were all having the same kit, unfortunately. So yeah, it was so back to Theo.
Yeah, back to me. Like I said, I can leave my striker and my goalkeeper to the end. So I'm going to go with my second centre-back. I've got two names here that no one said. It's literally like a toss of a coin of who I want to pick. One of them's got one of the most contagious laughs in football, French centre-back, but I will let someone else have him. And I'll go with the player that I've actually watched numerous occasions at Stamford Bridge. Very underrated, wore the armband multiple times, was the captain when we won the Premier League in 2017. And that's Gary Cahill.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Very good shout. Very good shout.
I just feel like very underrated. I feel like a lot of players try to scapegoat Gary Cahill, always kind of compared him to John Terry, and was saying he was never good enough to be John Terry's successor. But I just think he was clinically underrated during his time at Chelsea.
It's a solid back line as well.
We signed him from Bolton for 7 million in January 2012. 5 months later, he's an FA Cup and Champions League winner. Following season, he's a Europa League winner. Pretty much won every trophy there was to win with us. League Cup afterwards, a second Premier League in 2017. So yeah, fantastic player, very versatile as well, playing in a back three and in a back four. And like you said, I'm quite happy with my back line now of Ashley Cole, Gary Cahill, Ricardo Carvalho, and Cesar Azpilicueta.
It's a solid back line, to be fair. Really solid.
That's very, very good.
And you got the two midfield so far. That works.
Taking shape. It's taking shape now.
Yeah, looking good. Looking very good. Back to you, Dharmesh.
Right. I'm going for this player. He was initially I was going to put Cahill in as well, but I've got a backup. It's not the French centre back that you guys are thinking of. I'll let Theo have that one, just purely
Oh,
based
thanks.
on honestly, I think purely based on my own sort of memory, and it wouldn't sort of be right for me to pick this player without making a full sort of judgment analysis of him when
Yeah, it's
at the time I
understandable.
was very young. So
Yeah. Cool.
that's why with even Zola, obviously I've heard great stuff about Zola. I've seen highlights and clips of him, but I don't remember much of him as a player just because of my
Yeah.
age and stuff. But
Yeah.
that's why I didn't feel right going for someone like Zola. But I've gone for David Luiz in the other centre back position. I can't really think of anyone else with what's been picked. Luiz was sort of my last choice sort of pick.
Are you thinking back to Louis' first time round or second stint? Because I feel like there was not massive contrast between the two, but I feel like the first version I was really happy with.
I guess obviously we saw the best of him when he was in the back three for us, playing in the middle of the back three. That's the sort of version that I truly rated this guy. And then obviously he's played in a lot of systems for us. When he first came, he was very erratic, very he was like the Darwin Núñez of centre back, so that makes sense. He was very very raw, very like you're not very convinced of him, but it took him a good couple of years to settle into the team, and Antonio Conte worked his magic with him, finding the best position for him in the back three, where he had a bit more protection with our midfield and the centre backs around him, and even the wing backs and the good goalkeeper. So I think that helped him a lot. And people don't talk about his passing range. I think his passing range is just it's unreal. There'd be times where he'd get the ball and then find a pass to one of our wingers, and relieve some sort of pressure from us when we're still sitting back, because that's what we did quite a lot. To be fair, we'll sit back quite a bit under Conte. We didn't really play that sort of attacking football. It was more counter attack, but ruthless counter attack, and I think he was a massive part of that. Good free kicks as well. Very good free kicks and very wacky goals, if that makes sense. Like that goal against Fulham, the goal against Liverpool at Anfield. Those are the two that stick to mind. His debut goal against Man United as well was solid. Not really what you expect from a centre back, but he was very, very different, I say, as a centre back, and very, I guess, very strange player. But overall, I think he was solid for us, and we signed him for about 20 million, was it, from Benfica? So yeah, I can't speak any more on David Luiz, to be fair. Just a solid player for us.
I agree.
It's a good shout, yeah.
It's a very good shout, to be fair.
Quite an erratic player, but very underrated as well, and versatile, playing in midfield, back fours, back threes.
Yeah.
Good player.
Very good player. Is that your... You got a second pick? Yeah, you got a second pick.
Right, I think I have to go for this player just because I think it'll get picked very, very soon. So I'm going to go for Nemanja Matic in midfield.
Okay.
Yeah, it's maybe not the other one that you're thinking of, possibly, but reason I've gone for Matic is because I don't think he gets enough praise either for how pivotal he was for us winning the league in both years, both under Jose and under Conte, playing sort of a different way for us. And he was the Rodri of now, if that makes sense. Where he come up with clutch goals. Without him, there's no sort of the glue. He was the glue to our team, I think, in both seasons. And we obviously re-signed him. He went on loan. He came back in the 13-14 season, where in January, it was a January signing, I believe, wasn't it? It was January 2014 we signed him, and completely transformed our season the following year by helping us win the league. And yeah, he scored some very, very important goals. Obviously, the one that everyone remembers, obviously the Spurs at Wembley, that was unreal. Just it doesn't get any sweeter than that in terms of a goal. But yeah, overall a solid player, and I think I'm quite happy with the midfield, to be fair, given what's been obviously picked already. But Fabregas and Matic, were solid as the two as well.
True. Very true.
Yeah, I'm looking at your team now, and if we're thinking purely from a chemistry perspective, you've got Fabregas and Mata, Spanish compatriots. You've got Matic and Ivanovic, Serbian teammates. Then you've got a centre-back partnership of Luiz and Silva, Brazilian teammates. So I think you've got some solid chemistry in that team, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm happy with the choices, and the man at Matic, man. Yeah, what a player, man.
Good player, yeah.
Very good player. I think we're switching back to you, Theo.
Yeah,
It's getting a bit tricky.
I've been thinking about this. Yeah, it's getting tricky. I'm struggling with the left wing position. So I'm going to go with my striker, and that's going to be Nicholas Anelka as my striker.
Ooh, it's a good shout.
It was
It's a good shout.
it was either going to be Anelka or Hasselbank. I just feel like I watch more of Anelka. I feel.
Yeah.
I could have maybe gone for someone like Osgood or one of the strikers back in the days, Chopper Harris, but I didn't really watch these guys.
I think that's got to be part of the rules you've got. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking of putting Osgood in there, but I've never watched him, so I can't. I know how good he was, and I watched highlights, and I've seen clips before. But
Same with Zola, man. Yeah.
Exactly
that's a big shout. That's a really good shout.
Yeah, I think just underrated player, came in January from Bolton. Was the Golden Boot winner, I think, in 2009. I think.
Was he?
And as well,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and one of those players as well. When you look at what he's achieved throughout his career, played for some top teams, but I still think it's his time at Chelsea that really stands out for me.
Yeah.
I think was there at the beginning of the season we won the Champions League, but was just scoring for fun alongside Kalou, Malouda, and Drogba in the Ancelotti season in 2009, 2010. So I think if you've got Joe Cole, you've got Anelka, you've got goals in his team, and then you've got Lampard as well in midfield. So yeah, I would have probably gone with Drogba and Costa as my priorities, but you both picked them, so it's going to have to be Anelka now. But I'm happy with that.
That's a good pick. Very good pick.
It's a very good pick.
I like that.
I don't want to see my team, to be fair.
That's good, man.
Nah, I feel like I've messed it up. I've messed it up a bit here. I think I'm gonna have to pick my defender. I feel like I could switch this around slightly because I feel like I could move Zola or Hazard here. I feel like I could. I might need to get a pass from you two to be able to do that shortly, but I feel like I'm kind of stuck with who I can play with alongside here, although this would be another ideal. Should I go with this player or not?
I've left him to you, man. To be fair, I was going to pick him, but it didn't feel right going for him. But yeah,
he was on my list. He was the French centre back I was hinting to, the contagious laugh.
Contagious laugh, yeah. No, and I loved him. I loved when he was at the club. I don't know if I put him in. I don't know if he'd be top of my list of centre backs. I think Carvalho would be ahead of him. I think Gary Cahill would be ahead of him. Obviously, John Terry as well. So I'm not saying he was.
Solid, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was amazing for us throughout, but I feel like growing up, he was one of those players that you just grew to love, and he had some really good qualities about him. But I don't think I would say he's the top 3 pick out of just Chelsea centre backs. If that makes sense. So I put him on the same pedestal as Wayne Bridge. I was happy with him in the squad. He done what he needed to do. No nonsense defending. So maybe he was, but he wouldn't have been my top pick. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think we were kind of struggling there with centre backs. I think we've all got our centre backs now. Some other names I was thinking of, potentially Antonio Rudiger. I think.
Yeah.
Really good.
Only thing would be, we only saw like a season of good Rudiger. I don't think that's
I think
enough,
he was.
I
think we saw more bad of Rudiger
shaky.
than we saw more bad than good. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Throughout
I think
his
it's just
time
more
at Chelsea.
now when I watch him at Madrid now, I'm just like, I wish he was at Chelsea, or he's back at Chelsea, and it's maybe more the Madrid factor that makes you want him back at Chelsea. And that season we won the Champions League, he was a rocket in that defense against Man City. Those blocks he did, I think, for the Foden and the Mahrez chances. But yeah, I think we've probably picked the 6 best centre backs I think that are available. I believe. Have you picked your centre backs, Dharmesh, yet or not? You have.
Yeah, I've got Louise and
Louise
and Silva. I've got.
Yeah. So I think we made the best choices for the centre backs.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
This is getting mental.
Yeah, it's getting hard now.
Well, yeah, because I would have either had Azpilicueta. Who's got Azpilicueta? Sorry, let me just quickly go back.
Theo's got him.
Theo's got. You've got Ivanovic, so they would have been my top 2. I don't want to put this person in, but I feel like I've got.
You'll go against it, bro.
Yeah, it's might go. Yeah, I'm just thinking why am I putting him in? Is it just because, again, almost being backed into the corner a little bit? But I might have to go with Reece James. And I can't believe I'm saying that.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying that because had he not been injured for pretty much most of his career at Chelsea, he's probably been injured more than he's played football for us in the senior team over the last 5 years. I don't know. Can I put him in there above? I mean,
Paulo Ferreira.
yeah, another one.
But
No,
I think he was better than Ferreira, though. I think he was better. Like if you're looking at the time Reece James has played, then
he's world class. On his day, Reece James is world class, isn't he? And I think if we could keep him fit, we would have a world class right back on our. We have got one. It's just we can't keep him fit. So I think he has to be James.
You look at Reece James prior to 2023, how good he was.
He was brilliant.
And like you said,
he was brilliant.
People are always saying he's the best right back in the world. He's world class, and I think that warrants a place for him to be in his team.
Yeah.
But yeah, just injury 100%. Record maybe means that we've got a bit of question marks with doubts about his position. But yeah, I think it was either a toss between him or James if I was in your situation.
Yeah.
Him or Ferreira, sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I've only got one more pick, I think. After this one.
That's right. I think it's uneven numbers now, so probably why we've got one pick each. Is that right?
No, yeah, that's right. We've got one pick each.
Oh, and I've got two. I've got a goalkeeper as well.
Oh, and we got the manager as well.
Yeah, and the manager. So I'll be quite quick for this one because similarly to you, I'm struggling, but I'm going to go with Pedro as my left wing.
Man.
I think it was either Pedro or Willian. I just feel like I enjoyed watching Pedro slightly more, just his work rate. And again, when we talk about players like Ballack, like Mata, very just underrated what he achieved and he did at Chelsea, Premier League winner, FA Cup winner, Europa League winner. I think a lot of people look at Hazard's performance in Baku, but Pedro was up there as well. He was, the Arsenal centre-backs were chasing shadows with Pedro. And even in his final season, I think he was in his maybe like mid-30s and he was still absolutely blowing after every match, running like a madman. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Pedro. And as well, I think he's still playing at a top level with Lazio.
Isn't he?
Scoring
yeah, he's still at Lazio, isn't he? Yeah,
still at Lazio. One of those rare players that played for both Roma and Lazio, but yeah, top player. So he'll be my choice at left wing.
That's a solid squad, man.
Underrated, man. Very underrated, Pedro as well. Obviously, Hazard will get most of the props for what he did for us, but Pedro came clutch, man, with a lot of moments for us. Yeah,
absolutely. And Dharmesh, I think you get 2 picks now if you've got 2 spots left. So you got
both wingers basically. So, do you know what? Funny enough, I just thought of one on the spot right now. As soon as you picked Pedro, I was like, I wasn't really happy with the 2 that I've got. So, definitely one of them. I'm going to go with Florent Malouda on the right. That's one of my.
A reminder as well. You can also reshape your formation, so you could potentially have 2 strikers.
I know. I'm thinking of doing that. I am.
But then I'm thinking what midfielders would I sort of pick? But I think actually, could you stick Malouda on the left if that's all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick Malouda on the left just because of the right winger that I want to pick. Malouda was great, I think, for at least 2 or 3 seasons for us. I guess similar to someone like Pedro, where he didn't really get much of the flowers because of the attacking talent that we had at the time. Was clutch in moments for us as well, and it's a good player overall, I think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
Malouda. Yeah, it's a good shout. He's almost one of those unforgotten players again as well that we don't really always speak about, do we? When we talk about some of the Chelsea top players at Chelsea, his name's not one of those that we first comes to mind. So, the reason why we do things like this is so we can remember some of these players.
Right, my last choice now.
Okay, well, second to last, you got your manager. You got to get the gaffer.
Manager as well. So, do you know what? This is hard because I've got 3 choices in mind. God. This is hard.
What about Damien Duff? I feel like he's
I know. Stop saying names. You can't help.
He wasn't really in my sort of list to pick. But
he was quality. we know how we talk about Robin. Damien Duff was up there. And like the technical ability he's got or had, unmatched.
Good Johnson's another one. Like
I'm
I'm helping you both now because I've got my players.
I've got one more in my head. I'm going to change my formation.
Oh, man.
You can go for a manager if you're struggling at right wing.
Okay, do you know what? I'm going to get the manager out of the way just because I'm undecided on this last position. But I'm going to go. I'm going to has to be. So can I look at my team again? If that's right. I'm going to base it just on my team, not like.
That's hard.
In terms of my team, I think it has to be. I think it has to be Carlo for me. I know you might be a bit of a surprise to you guys, but I think with the players that I've got, I think Carlo Ancelotti would probably.
You sure you want to go? Yeah. You sure you want to go for him?
Yeah. I think I'm sure. I'll let one of you guys have.
No.
I just think with the team that I've got, I think he will suit the type of players I've got, and we'll get the best out of the team. So I'm thinking more of the team, less than his Chelsea stint. I guess if that makes sense.
Yeah. Put him in this corner.
But yeah, just on Carlo as well. Like, big shout out to him, man. Honestly, definitely top 3 managers for sure for us.
Oh yeah, he's still going. He's still going.
He's still going now.
That tells you he's managing at the top level still.
Still managing at the top level, man. And it's a shame that how things ended for him, because I think he would have he would have been great up until we obviously brought in who at the time. But obviously we sacked him. Then that's where we sort of had AVB, and then got rid of him. Then Dimitar, then got rid of him. Then we were sort of a rough of like managers. But I think had we kept him until we got who, then obviously that would have. I think we would have seen more silverware, or a more consistent silverware.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've gone for Carlo as my manager. Yeah, which would, like I said, it probably surprised you guys.
To put him down.
Not really. Corner. No, I think I'm really grateful for everything Abramovich has done for us. But the one thing I still think he really messed up with was sacking Ancelotti for finishing second in the tunnel of Goodison Park. For me, that's unforgivable. It was a huge mistake. You'd won the double the previous season, and you look at, like you said, what Ancelotti's still doing in the game of football now, getting Madrid to Champions League finals, winning them La Ligas. Yeah, it's one of the best managers, not just in Chelsea history, but in football history, in my opinion, as well.
Agreed, 100%. 100%. You've still got one more pick in a minute, so.
Oh, am I going again? Oh, okay.
No, I think you've picked your left side and your manager.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You've got your manager to pick now, actually, Theo.
Yeah, and my goalkeeper.
And your goalkeeper as well. I forgot about that.
I'll keep my manager to the end because. No, actually, no. I'm not going to keep my manager to the end because I'm gonna go with Jose Mourinho as my manager.
Fair dues.
I feel like now that I did like Ancelotti a lot, and I think when you got Ancelotti, you got goals, and his team screams goals. But yeah, I'll go with Jose Mourinho, just the special one, the man who won it all at Chelsea Football Club, except for any European silverware. And I think he's still adored by Chelsea fans, despite having managed Tottenham and United, and that's something that not a lot of people can go on to do and still be loved by a fan base. But yeah, you could do a whole podcast episode on Jose Mourinho, so I'll keep it short and sweet and have this special one as my manager.
Suits the Jose Mourinho type team as well. I think with the players that you've got as well, I think it suits very much. I think your defense is much obviously superior to the rest of your rest of your team. I think so. I think I think Jose would suit the team a lot actually.
Yep. It's another good shout. It's another good shout. So that's you done for now. You gone for Mourinho. You still got your goalkeeper to pick. I am going to change things up a little bit here. You have to bear with me now. Don't know how this is going to pan out, but I'm going to bring in someone who I feel's got the Chelsea DNA, and someone who I actually didn't really appreciate while they were playing for Chelsea. But when I look back and I think how I see Endo for Liverpool now doing this job, I think actually critical that we had him in the team.
It's the Bison, isn't it?
No, yeah.
No, it's
it's
not.
him.
Oh,
Who did you think I was
Oh,
going for?
I thought it was going to be
Essien.
Michael Essien. Yeah.
No, do you know what? I was going to have him, but he was injured too. Those injuries killed him. And I think we really don't appreciate what John Obi Mikel done at Chelsea. I think we,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
like I said, I don't think we kind of, I never, I can't talk for you two, but I never really, when I used to see him, I think, oh, it's John Obi Mikel. You know, he's coming on, he's John Obi Mikel. But when you think about the times that John Obi Mikel's just seen games out for us, he just come on 70 minutes in, 25 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go, and we see the game out. And especially under Jose, part the bus, 1-0 win, make it dirty, scruffy, whatever, but we still get the win because of players like John Obi Mikel. Not saying he was the, world class, but he was definitely someone that in a team, you kind of need someone to just come on, understand their assignment, get it done, get off the pitch, and that was it. And even to this day, he still bleeds the Chelsea DNA, and that's something we talk about all the time. The current players that we've got. John Obi Mikel literally is the blueprint for that. Someone that
Solid.
understands what it means. Was in some brilliant squads as well. You think back to some of the teams he was in.
Yeah.
And
Maybe you're both similar to me, but listening to his podcast, has that not made you appreciate him even more?
That's what I mean. That's when I went back
Yeah.
and I watched some of his games and I thought, actually, he's right. You do need like leaders in the team. You do need people that aren't like the Hazards and the Droppers in the team. You need someone that's just getting on with their job, but they're doing it quietly, but they're having a massive impact on the squad overall. And that's him. That was him. When you look back at him now, listen to him now and look back to how he was, you can tell that he was a leader in that team, but he just wasn't deemed a leader by default as like a John Terry or a Didier Drogba or whoever, if that makes sense. But you've got to have a John Obi Mikel in your team to win something.
It's a good shout. It's a really good shout. Very underrated player.
Yeah.
I like that midfield of Makelele, Mikel, and Ballack as well.
That's solid. That's very solid.
I redeemed myself. The only odd one out in that, and unfortunately has to be said, is Wayne Bridge for me. But shut myself in the foot there.
You get to still pick your manager as well.
My manager. So my manager is going to be Thomas Tuchel. For the simple fact of what he did in a short span of time at Chelsea. Went on to win the Club World Cup, the one trophy that we were always, well, say always, but we were so close to last time we got to the final. And we finally got it under him. And very similar to what we've just said about Carlo Ancelotti, the way that he left the club is always going to leave a sour taste in a lot of Chelsea fans' mouths because of just how it all ended and all the rest of it. The sanctions, the change in ownership. But I can't remember what stat came up. It might have been to do with Maresca. Oh no, it was to do with Arteta, I think. And it showed how many trophies Arteta's won and how many trophies Chelsea managers have won in the span of time that Arteta's been in charge of Arsenal. And it was like 100 games or something. And it showed like the Champions League and the Club World Cup for Thomas Tuchel. And I think there's like 2 Community Shields and an FA Cup, I think, for Arsenal. And it just showed you the difference in managerial levels. So yeah, I've gone for Thomas Tuchel. A big shout out to Kanté as well. I think I would have had Antonio Conte in there as well. Another one for us. So
shout out Sorry as well, man.
And sorry. Although I can't have him because I can't have him just for the simple fact he allowed Kepa to belittle him in the way that he did. And I think as a manager, that day was the day I think he was done.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't really come back from that, I don't think. But
I think given the way he ended the season for us, I think I was content and happy with how he did, to be fair.
No, I do. I think that. But I think when you lose the player, when the players gain the power from the manager, there's only going to be one winner in the end, and it's not going to be the manager.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But Ranieri as well. Ranieri would have been
Ranieri, another good shout.
As well. Yeah,
Ranieri would have been Ranieri would have been my 4th choice after I think Mourinho, Tuchel, and Ancelotti. I think close 4th and 5th would have been Ranieri and Conte. But I think we've gone for the 3 best managerial choices.
It's over to you now, Theo, I think.
Yeah, I'll keep this one short because I don't really want to talk too much about him. It's going to have to be Thibaut Courtois. I mean, let's be honest.
Still a very good pick.
Yeah, let's be honest. We haven't really replaced him since he's left.
No,
And he
we
was
got.
a world-class goalkeeper for us. Won
He
us the
was.
Premier League twice.
He's not
Won us
even
an FA
was.
Cup
He's
as
still one
well.
of the best goalkeepers.
Still one of the best goalkeepers. I do think he's got a bit of an ego and a bad attitude. I don't like the fact he refused to train because he wants to push for that move to Madrid.
Yeah.
But sometimes as footballers, you do have to kind of be a bit selfish. You do have to remember this when you want something. And I think his family was still living in Madrid. So that's why he really wanted to be close to his family. But just one game where really sticks to mind is that game against Hull City away from home where he pulled off, I think it's like a triple save, like 3 saves in a row. And then I think we managed to win 3-2. I think it was like end of March time. And that game really made me think, all right, we're going to be champions now. And as well, you got to be a top-class keeper to have Petr Cech sitting on the bench.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
That's what Courtois did. And I think that season of having him as with Petr Cech really helped him develop into the goalkeeper he is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am praising him now, and I will continue to praise him as someone who loves goalkeepers. I think he's quality, but I still leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth with the way he left. But yeah, he'll be my choice at goalkeeper.
Got some solid squads here. We really have. Really impressed with all of them, to be fair. Let's go back to yours first, Dharmesh. So,
oh my god.
Oh no, you haven't picked your right side.
Yeah, I left my right winger to last. So
yeah.
Oh god, I'm torn between two. Wait, you guys have picked your squads now, isn't it? So
we're all done. It is down to you now.
Yeah.
So the choices that I've got are let me just get my phone up again. So either I've got a Cole Palmer, I've got Willian, and I've got Solomon Kalou as the three.
Oh,
it's tough. It's really tough.
It kind of is. I'd eliminate Kalou if it was me.
Yeah.
I'd eliminate Kalou. I don't know if I could put Cole Palmer in a team this early. Very similar to what I said about Cucurella, I think, or whoever we spoke about before.
Yeah, Cucurella, yeah.
I don't know. Then I just leave you with Willian, and I'm having flashbacks of Willian not being able to beat the defender from a corner, the first defender, on multiple occasions. But did score some really crucial goals, so it's not my team.
Oh. Damn, this is hard. Who would you go for, Theo?
I think I agree with Theo's logic, and narrowing it down, I would go Willian. I think the longevity plays a big factor, and that season we were atrocious, and we think we finished 10th. I think would have been probably in a relegation battle if it wasn't for Willian's performances.
He dragged us through some dark times.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go with Willian then as well. I think purely on the this is nothing on like Cole Palmer, Solomon Kalou. I think they're obviously both great /great players for us. Palmer will be a great player for us. Obviously we're talking to the future, but yeah, I've got to put Willian. I think just based on we're doing a Chelsea all-time 11, and obviously his careers at Chelsea's come to an end as well. And yeah, but underrated, similar to Pedro, underrated, I think, because obviously the main focus was on Hazard and Costa. Even under Jose, we had Andre Schürrle was in that position. We had Oscar for a bit as well. Yeah. Two players I didn't rate as much, to be fair, but William was always that sort of player that will give his all for the club and stuff. His work rate was unbelievable, a typical Jose Mourinho type player. And yeah, his set pieces were, I guess his corners were very questionable, but he had the odd time where he scored a free kick.
Oh yeah, he scored a few free kicks.
And even in our sort of worst seasons, he was always a standout. So, yeah, I'd probably just edge Willian over Cole Palmer. But Palmer's was very close for me to making his team, just because of how he's been for the past sort of year and a half or so. Yeah, I'll stick with Willian.
I think Pedro and Willian, I remember that last season at Chelsea, we were almost wanting them, to leave the club as soon as possible. But they're types of players now that you really appreciate even more, similar to Mikel as well, now that they're not at the club, and the kind of the void or that they feel that experience as well. Quality player. And I think you made the right choice between Palmer, Kalou and Willian, picking Willian.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm happy with my team as well, actually. Yeah, I like it. Apart from maybe Gallas and Yeah, apart from maybe William Gallas, and do you want hindsight? Maybe I shouldn't have gone with Kalu, but with the Muda, sorry, but yeah, I think that overall, but I do like the team, to be fair.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're
What we'll
all
do,
three of them.
what we'll
All
do
of
is we'll
them.
post these images on the
Yeah, yeah.
socials, and we'll let our followers decide. I think
Yeah.
who's got the
Yeah.
best team.
Yeah, we'll get the
I will add
votes
the
going.
managers. Yeah, add the managers alongside, and maybe we can each have like a little quote on like the style of play we'll play along with this team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
sounds good.
honourable shout outs to players that we may have missed out on.
Oh yeah,
Michael
Yeah,
Essien, I think.
yeah, Essien was,
Ramirez
yeah.
Ramirez,
as well.
Gospoye.
Oh, Ramirez! I forgot about Ramirez.
Yeah, too
Oh,
late now. Too
no.
late. Gospoye,
He was a great one.
Gianluca Vialli,
Idigo Johnson,
potentially Graham Lasso,
Yeah.
Pat Nevin, Idigo
Frank
Johnson,
Leboeuf.
Damien Duff, Paulo Ferreira,
Crespo.
Frank Leboeuf, Emmanuel Petit. There's a lot of players that we might have missed out on. But I think we made the right choices. I think as well, considering as well that maybe me and Dharmesh probably started watching Chelsea like a bit later as well.
Yeah.
These are players that we would have watched ourselves and probably appreciated as well. I think there's nothing I think in our 11s that I would change myself.
Let's just recap over them.
Yuri Zhirkov as well was I think a solid sort of choice as well for us. Yossi Benayoun, decentish player as well. Not as good as maybe the ones we got on the screen, but yeah, they're honourable names that that did a job for us really. So
yeah,
even Olivier Giroud, just so underrated.
Yeah.
When you need it.
Yeah. Sad that we let him go the way we did, actually, to be fair. But let's recap before we wrap up. So we've gone. This is Dharmesh's team. So he's gone for Petr Cech in goal, Branislav Ivanovic as right back with the two centre backs David Luiz and Thiago Silva, with William Gallas as the left back. Got two in midfield of Cesc Fabregas and Nemanja Matic. And it's tired. It's nearly 10 o'clock. And Florian Malouda, Juan Mata, Willian Drogba in the attack, with your manager being, you have to remind me again, you went with Carlo Ancelotti. Theo's gone for Thibaut Courtois, Azpilicueta at right back, Carvalho and Gary Cahill in the centre back roles, with Ashley Cole as left back, and N'Golo Kanté and Frank Lampard in a midfield two, with Pedro on the left wing, Joe Cole, unfortunately, in his team as number 10, Iron Robin as the right winger, and Nicholas Anelka as the number 9. You went with Jose Mourinho as your manager. And my team my team is, unfortunately, Wayne Bridge in it, with Carlo Ancelotti. It's 10 o'clock, guys. Sorry. I'm ready for bed. Carlo Cudicini in goal. Reece James as right back, with John Terry, Marcel Desailly as the centre backs, Wayne Bridge as left back, and midfield three of Makelele, John Obi Mikel, Michael Ballack, with my front three in the attack of Eden Hazard, Diego Costa, and Gianfranco Zola on the right hand side of that attack as well. And my manager was Thomas Tuchel. So I think all three teams are decent, but it's not down to us. It is down to our followers on Twitter and Instagram as well, to decide who has got the best team, who's the one who do they think will have the team that could go on and win, maybe concede only 14 in a season rather than 15. But I've enjoyed this one. It's been a good episode. It's been a bit of a longer episode than usual. We'll get the images posted, sent out onto our socials in the morning, so make sure you tune in for that. Make sure you go over, share your votes, and hopefully, I think the next episode we'll have a recap and we'll share the results on the next episode as well. I was going to say loser has to buy a pint, but that might be a bit difficult when we're a bit more dispersed in the country. But no, Theo, Dharmesh, been a pleasure as always. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the YouTube, notifications on audio version of the podcast, and until next time, we'll be back very soon. Thank you very much for watching.